without investment. If you go in for a loan at a start, it gives you a lot of problems because you may have to pay interest on the loan and all that. But when you start investing, you accumulate wealth over a period of time that you can use to venture into any business at all you need. So first of all, we'll go through the basics of investing. So one of the things to look out for is to rule out the misconceptions about investment. So investment is not gambling. Sometimes people think that gambling is of return, so it can be synonymous with investment, but that's not true. And then investment is not reserved only for people with excess income. So you realize that sometimes people procrastinate in investing because they think that the money they have is not enough or they are not earning so much income. But you are rather supposed to start investing seriously when you don't have enough so that you can build wealth over a period of time and then use it for any investment venture of your choice. And people also think that investment is only for those who are sophisticated. That is also not true because if you have funds for investment and you go to any licensed investment company, you can look through the products and test your own. Sometimes when you want to invest, one of the things you need to ask yourself that why do I want to invest? What amount of risk can I take? And then how long do I want to invest? So if you have all this in mind, when you walk to any investment banking firm, they can recommend a product that will suit your needs. You don't have to be so sophisticated to be able to invest. And that investment is, some people also don't invest because they think that investment is too risky. That is not entirely true. There's risk in everything. Even you deciding not to invest is even risk in itself. Because if you have money and you keep it at home and you are not investing, one problem is inflation is eating up a portion of your money. Apart from that, the tendency of you spending it is also high. You know, in Africa and in Ghana, we have high dependency ratio. So if you have funds and you don't put the funds into investment, people will come to you are done with all manner of problems and all that. And once they come to you with all manner of problems, I mean, your conscience wouldn't serve you right if you don't give them the money to meet their respective needs, because everybody's needs is an emergency. So if you don't invest in itself, it's a risk. And also, thieves can also come in to take it from you and all that. And one other thing I want to add is that it's very important to hold investments. I mean, like as investment in businesses, investment in real estate and all that, but it's very important to have some liquid investments, which are financial assets. So like stocks, which is shares, collective investment schemes, bonds, and other income, treasury bills and all that. Those ones are very liquid. You can easily trade them, and then they come in very handy anytime you need money for emergency. So those are some of the things you should be looking at. People also think that they will invest only when their income level increases. That is also not really good. You have to invest, you have to develop the discipline of investing irrespective of your income level, so that if it increases, that habit will continue. But if you postpone your investment thinking that when your income increases before you will invest, that one too is not good. So it's very important that when it comes to investment, they said the best time to invest was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now. So you don't have to defer your investment until later date. And then the people also think that investment is reserved only for business gurus. You know, when you listen to business news, there are some entrepreneurs that often come up because the investing environment or the entire country sees them as the business gurus because they are entrepreneurs. But when it comes to financial investments, you don't have to be a business guru to start investing. With any little amount as low as 20 Ghana cedis, you can start investing, and over a period of time, you'll be able to build some very good wealth. So I want us to talk about the importance of investing. We all know that when you invest over a period of time consistently and right in financial institution and in the right instruments, over a period of time, you become financially independent. So if you want to be financially independent, you don't have to go through anything. You know, sometimes there was this, I think on the 5th of May, there was this newspaper publication of one biochemist. The man retired, and then he told his wife he was going to Bank of Ghana for a transaction, and he found himself in a shrine somewhere around Adesso because he was going to multiply his money. Today you are earning, so you think that you have so much. But when you retire, you realize that the comfort, the bonus will stop coming, and all the other small things that augment your income, you didn't have them again. So if you don't invest now, thinking that if you don't invest now, you're at retirement, it's very impossible for you to be financially independent. And that is, even at that stage, that's when you need money the most, because one, you will still have to, you'll be eating in retirement, you'll still be paying utility bills in retirement, you will still be taking care of your health in retirement. And even the health one is even more serious, because we know that at retirement, around that time, almost of the organs are worn out, and then you have to spend so much on medical bills. You don't have an employer that is taking care of that bill for you. So if you don't invest in retirement, it will be very difficult for you. And then, but investments help us to secure our financial future. You know, this COVID times, when they said that there was going to be lockdown, we're all hearing news of lockdown, people should start stocking up and all that. That's when you know that you are financially secure or not. Some people were able to even stock up to 6 months because they don't know how things are going to be like. And other people too are also worried, calling people for support so that they can also take care of their bread and butter issue. So you realize that you don't know when the storm will come. We all started 2020 with hope the year was going to be good, and within the first quarter, we've seen what is happening. I mean, from China in December, late October, November through to now, all of us are feeling the effects of COVID. So we don't know what is ahead of us. But if you have enough finances available in financial instruments and other alternative investments, it helps you manage situations as and when they come in. And the investment helps you have a comfortable personal and family life. You know, family life, life is not all about us, it's about other people around us, also our children, spouses, close relations and all that. So if you don't have enough investments, as in liquid investments, you will not be responsible towards all the people that you should be responsible towards. And also, a lot of us are entrepreneurs and we need money for our businesses. If you don't invest and then make a lot of money so that you can invest in your own business as startup capital or as working capital, it means that you have to go in for a loan. And we all know what comes with a loan. If you don't have the credibility, you don't have the collateral and all that, you're going to borrow at a very high interest rate. And then if your business is not actually churning out profits that will be able to clear that debt and all that, then you realize that even your business wouldn't see the light of day. So if you invest personally, you build funds for your own business as well as other things, working capital. That's how you can invest
So,
independence. How
Sophia, can I
yes.
ask one question before? I think I just wanted to try and, because of the time, I want to make sure that I bring in some of the questions so that people will be able to.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
For me, one of my main questions is that what are some of the things that you would say I should consider before investing in Ghana? Because you know, let's say I don't have a bank account in Ghana and I don't have family members in Ghana. What are some of the things that you would say I should consider before I can actually invest in Ghana? And how do I remake it? Do I send the money through Western Union or MoneyGram? Do you understand what I mean? So are you able to just give us some insights on what are the things that we need to consider, because we all have different risk appetites.
Yes, that's fine. Okay, so to answer that question, before you decide on investing with any investment company in Ghana, these are some of the things you should look for whether the company is licensed. All investment banking firms must be licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission. If it's about fixed deposit with a bank or a company, must be licensed by Bank of Ghana. If it is an insurance you want to do, to the National Insurance Commission is the regulator. So the first checklist is to check whether the company you want to invest in is actually licensed. And after checking whether the company is licensed, you need to also look out for a few things. You have to check their track record over a period of time, how they've been doing, the reviews that their existing investors, clients have about them, whether they're a good company, is there any bad press, and then is there a way you can investigate further. Sometimes too, you can also contact the regulator on their email address and then find out if this market participant is credible. When it comes to investing, Securities and Exchange Commission, when you go to their website, there's this thing called licensees. So when you click on it, you see a fund manager or something. So they categorize all the companies that have been licensed in a red and a gold category. So the red means that they stated why they are in red, meaning that they have some compliance and other issues, whether they are having liquidity issues, they are having other issues. Take note, rise that one, and then gold. The gold category are those who are in good standing. So it's not enough to want to invest with a licensed company, but you also want to check whether they are in good standing at the time you want to invest. Because one of the problems we saw with the collapsed fund managers was that people were still investing with them, even when SEC has categorized them as red, as in people shouldn't really deal with them. So if you want to invest, it's very important that you always read finance news in Ghana, know whether they are licensed or not. And also you need to check their performance over a period of time, their historic performance in terms of returns. How good, what kind of returns are they churning out to their investors? And then how can you compare that with treasury bill rate? Assuming the investment you are doing is a fixed income investment, you have to compare it with treasury bill rate and whether the performance is a little bit better than treasury bill. You know that it's only government that is relatively risk-free. Any other company is relatively risky. So if you are putting your funds there, you should give you something above the benchmark, which is the treasury bill. That should be your risk premium. So you look out for the returns as well. And then also check that the product you want to invest in, whether the product is good. You know, the issue of men's gold, the product was so complex and all that. So if there's so much complexity around the product, it makes it very easy for the people to manipulate and then toy with your money. And how do you transfer funds to for investment in Ghana? Most of all these investment banking firms have different ways, or through internet banking, you can wire funds to the various accounts. They all have different means and ways. So you don't necessarily have to, send it through anybody in Ghana. You have to do through maybe internet banking or transfers or other means. All the companies have different ways of accepting funds from Ghana. And also some of them also have platforms that you can check the value of your investment in real time, so that you know that this is how my investment is doing, and you maintain email correspondence with them and all that. So you don't necessarily have to have anybody knowing about your investment here in Ghana.
You know, in terms of, I have a couple of questions here, but I just wanted to.
I think I want to add another thing quickly, just one. You know that, World Remit and the mobile financial service, international mobile financial services is also another means through which funds can be transferred. And also, in considering where to invest, if the returns they are giving or churning on their investment is way above treasury bill rate, or even if it is anything that compares, if it's maybe a 1 year investment you are doing is too far away. Currently, the 364-day paper of Government of Ghana is around 17.1 or so. So if they are going to give you 25%, you should be asking yourself that where at all are they investing in? How are they going to make that amount of returns to give you? They know that they're going to start gamble with your money and all that. So you should also check, even though we want to have very good returns, the returns should be very reasonable and commensurate with the amount of risk that you are taking. Please, your next question.
Thank you so much. So I think I'll come to some of the questions that are here. There's quite a few questions here. But I wanted to check with you. I've had, I don't know whether it's true or not, but I've had instances where I've been told if you go to the bank and you have a large amount of money to invest, you could negotiate the rates of interest that they give you. So as an example, if the general rate for treasury bills is 17.5,
Yes.
you can go to the bank and negotiate something like maybe 25% if you have a sizable amount of money. Is that
Like,
true?
so 35%. When it comes to investments, volume of funds determines the amount of interest rate they will quote on the investment. But the thing is, they shouldn't be too widely uh, um, dispersed above treasury bill rates. Or maybe the same, maybe if you are doing for a 5-year paper, 5-year paper is going for 20.71. I'm just using a particular tenor as an example. And they are, that's 20.7, they are giving you 35%. That is very risky because they might be doing something that is not too good, and then the funds will get locked up. If you check some of the reason why we had most of the banks and the asset management companies collapsing is because they were taking so much risk. They were also investing in microfinance companies that were churning out ridiculous returns and all that. And once you place the funds with them and you want to take it and you can't have it back, then it becomes very problematic. So it's very good to want to negotiate. You can negotiate, but I want to draw your attention and all other participants' attention to the Ghana fixed income market. The Ghana fixed income market right now is the busiest market in Ghana. The stock market has been down for the past 2 years. It's been churning out negative returns, and even as at the end of last week, I think it's around negative 11.69%. That's the stock market. So it's been down, and it's going to be down until the end of year or till maybe early part of next year. So the Ghana fixed income market is doing well. With that one, your risk levels are reduced because one, the Ghana fixed income market has government of Ghana securities that are already being issued, but are in private hands that are being traded. So you buy on the secondary market. The good news about that is that the assets you are buying is not lying on the balance sheet of any financial institution. It is directly on the Ghana Securities Depository, the CSD. Ghana Securities Depository. Whether the banks or the institution from which you purchase the security for collapses or not, then your investment is right on the CSD. You can always have access to it. And also, if you want to trade it, assuming you want something immediately, you have to trade. It's just a matter of you talking to your fixed income trader, and then they'll have it traded for you. So that is a platform that most of you can try investing on. When you go to, I think StanChart has an app, the StanChart mobile app. You will see that it has the codes for all the various securities that are listed. Or apart from the government of Ghana securities that are listed on the Ghana fixed income market, there are also some corporate bonds that are listed. But for now, I wouldn't really advise that because even the government of Ghana security, the quasi-government one that we had, the PBC, Produce Buying Company, it has defaulted in even paying its coupons. Coupons are also interest. You know, when you invest in bonds, every 6 months, you have to get interest on your investment called coupon. So even Produce Buying Company, that is a quasi-government institution, has not been able to honor its obligation as far as coupon payments and even principal payments are concerned. And the issue has been in court for the past 1 year. So you realize that for me, if you ask for my advice, I will encourage you to buy the already issued government of Ghana securities that are trading on the secondary market. That one, you know that it is government. Certainly, you will have your money at any time, and then you can easily trade it. And the good news is that it's not lying on any bank's balance sheet that if something happens to them, your money would also go down with them. So we can consider that one.
That one. Okay, thank you. There's a question from Andreas. Two questions actually. Says, do you have any information about angel investor networks in Ghana? And then
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so there are lots of recently there've been some advertisements on TV about angel investors. So they advertise, but I haven't really taken a critical look at some of them. So what I'll do is that after this presentation, I'll get all the other details. I'll send it to Kwame, and then Kwame will circulate it to them.
Oh,
there are other venture capital. There are also other venture capital. I have Oasis Venture Capital, and even government of Ghana has its own venture capital. So what I will do is that I'll try and gather all the requirements and everything you need to qualify for their funding for any kind of business. I'll have that sent to Kwame, and Kwame will share it with the person who requested for that.
Fantastic.
So I'll note it down.
Fantastic, thank you. Now, that same person also asked, which investments are you required to be a Ghanaian citizen or have a Ghanaian passport?
Oh, when it comes to investing in Ghana, it's not limited to only Ghanaian citizens. Even the stock market, investing in shares, there are a lot of foreign investors investing on our markets. That is why sometimes when they decide to sell and move out of the market, then the stock prices begin to fall because they buy in volumes. They even invest on our market even more than our people. So when you are investing, mostly we request for your ID card and a passport size photo because of money laundering considerations and all that. The central bank, as well as our regulator, Securities and Exchange Commission, requires that anytime you are signing up a client for the first time, at least you need to know a little about the person's employment, income level, and also an ID card, something. So even if it's not a Ghanaian passport and ID card, and you have a valid driving license or passport from any other country, you can do investments in Ghana. But mostly they require ID cards and passport photo, and then maybe your utility bill to really check your location because of issues around money laundering and then all that. Yes.
There's another question regarding what are the best options to invest in? Is it in shares? But I think you've shared some information on the stock market.
Okay. Yeah, but I can still talk about that.
Okay. So shares, it's options in whether shares or treasury bills, and which one would you recommend? And if so, why?
Okay, so right now, the stock market has been down for 2 years. I mean, the whole of 2018, 2019, and even as it stands now, it's in the negative. The issue is that most of the stocks on the market are very priced below their intrinsic value. They are told that this is the best time to invest in stock. But the thing is that we don't know how soon the market is going to pick up. We're all expecting some kind of rebound in the second quarter and second of the year because of, I mean, if you look at the stock market, what drives the market is the financial institutions, the banks, the insurance companies, and all that. And so after the banking sector cleanup, we were all expecting that very soon we should see the stock market performing, and then COVID-19 came in and all that. And the Bank of Ghana also saying that they shouldn't pay dividends to their shareholders and all that. So people started selling their stock. So this, if you really want to take risk and you have a long-term view as far as investment is concerned, that transcends beyond 1 year or more, you can do the stocks. There are some very good stocks that I can get recommendations to. So after this, I can get some recommendations to Kwame to share with you. So there are very good stocks that you can buy. When you look at the likes of EcoBank Ghana, GCB, Enterprise Group, and Societe Generale, and all those ones, fundamentally they are very solid companies. But just that because of what is happening on the market, dividends are not being paid, and all the banking sector cleanup last year, most of them everybody was trying to survive and all that. So you realize that they are all priced below their intrinsic value. But these are very good stocks that I also come up with some of the manufacturing We have Unilever also listed on the stock market, Farm Milk, and other ones too. So I'll try and put the recommendations together. Once someone wants to invest and is not looking at making any, not worried about the volatilities in stock prices. Now, as for the volatilities, it's expected at the end of the year. So issues around COVID becomes very stable and all that. So if you have a lot of funds and you want to invest in stock and you don't mind losing value between now and end of year, you can invest in stocks. But for now, if you are not interested in losing value on investment, I'll encourage you to do the invest on the Ghana fixed income market. We have Cocoa Bills also running. Cocoa Bills is issued by Cocoa Board Ghana, backed by Bank of Ghana. That one too, the returns are around 16, 16.5, some 17. Some have maturity around August, some September, and some November. So those ones are also very good options you can look at. I can send other detailed write-up on them to Kwame after this session to share with you. So Cocoa Bills are also good, and they are also trading on the Ghana fixed income market. And then we have a lot of bonds, 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. We also have the ESLA bond. The ESLA bond is the energy sector bond that was set up to clear legacy loans and all that. And that one is doing well. They have been consistent in the payments of their coupons. They have the 7-year, and then they have the 10-year. It's been running, I think, from 2016 or something like that. And that one is also doing very well, that you can make purchases into. Another thing you can do, another investment class you can invest in is collective investment schemes. They are like the unit trust and the mutual fund. Where I work, Republic Investment, you have the unit trust, which is a money market fund. Our competitor, Data Bank, has the Data Bank money market fund and all that. And then AUDC also have their fixed income. Fidelity also has a Fidelity fixed income and balance fund and all that. They are also another category of investment you can do with as low as 20 cedis, 50 cedis, and all that. And one of the ways of even building funds in this collective investment scheme is you having a standing order or direct debit, or maybe you can just do one colossal investment, and from time to time you can top up those investments. And the good thing is that if you do it consistently, you'll be able to build wealth over a long period of time. I also want to add that there are pension fund trustees that have, for Ghanaians in the diaspora that are not working in Ghana and are not registered under any pension scheme in Ghana. We have they have personal pension plans that you can invest in. Petra is a very good trustee, pension fund trustee in Ghana. They have personal pension plans. I can share some links with Kwame to share with you. Access Pension also have their own personal pension plan. Even SNIT has one. If you are not in Ghana, but you also want to do, and then mostly they call it the informal sector. It doesn't really matter the name. What is important is that you are investing in your own name and you can access it at any time you want to go. Ghanaians in the diaspora can also consider a personal pension with this pension fund trustees like Petra, Access, and they're very good ones that are credible. I can make some, and Enterprise, I'm sure Enterprise trustees are also very good and credible. They also have some personal pension products for people then that you can invest into, so that by the time you even return to Ghana, you can have enough pension for yourself. And then some of the investments we look at is just the normal fixed deposits we do with banks that Kwame was asking, or with a savings and loan company. Their tenors are basically 91 days, 182 days, and then 1 year. Mostly the benchmark rate is, if you compare whatever they are giving, you compare it to what government of Ghana is offering on the same tenor, and see whether it is reasonably above it, or if it's way above it, then you know that you are taking some amount of risk, and the likelihood of you losing your investment is very high.
Thank you, Sophia. Are you able to shed any light on anything to do in terms of investing in gold?
Investing in gold, I don't have so much knowledge about that. But what I'll do is that I'll find out from Minerals Commission, get a list of those people they have license and are in good standing, and get a little information on them and share with you, so that you share with those on the platform so that they can start dealing with them.
Yeah.
I know a few on my mind, but my issue is that I don't know what their standing is with the regulator, Minerals Commission. So we don't go and recommend something that will become a problem to those who will invest in it.
Exactly, that's fine. So I think there are quite a few questions from one person regarding gold. So I think we'll just have to shift that conversation from gold, because since it's not your.
And okay, and I think PMMC is also government. They are also into gold. So what I will do is that I'll try and gather information on all these ones and then share with you, and also make sure that they are licensed, and then share with Kwame to share with everyone. I can get all this delivered to you by close of week by end of next week. I'll just have to gather a lot of information and then share with you.
Thank you so much. Now, is there any other questions that Sophia hasn't answered? If you want to ask any questions, please unmute yourself and then just go ahead and ask.
Okay, whilst we wait for the questions, can I go ahead with the presentation?
Sure.
Okay, so there are a few best practices as far as investment is concerned. If you are an investor, it's very important that you track your investments. How do you track your investment? You track your investments by following up on your investment and knowing. So if you do an investment, immediately you should request for a receipt. Your receipt is one of your evidence that you have invested, and also a certificate from the institution that you are investing, or something to show that you are an investor in that company. It is also very important that the postal addresses that you use and then the email addresses and all that should be very correct, so that if the company is trying to respond with you, they will be able to reach you, so that you can also give them a feedback on whether you are pleased with them or not. It's also very important that as an investor, you should keep an eye on the company that you are investing in. Any news around them, what is the regulator saying about them? Any bad reviews about their service and then their liquidity and risk status and all that. That will also inform you whether to keep investing there or to move your money. And for those investing in treasury bills, shares, all that, for both the treasury bills and the shares and the fixed income, since they are all on the CSD, you don't need to create multiple accounts. Once you have one CSD account, if you buy the fixed income, the same ID, like all your assets will be on one sheet for you. You'll be able to access your net. Assuming you have a 2-year bond, you have a treasury bill, you have shares, all will show on the statement because they are all on the CSD. So you can always from time to time request for your CSD statement. What is a CSD account? Okay, the CSD account is Central Securities Depository. So it is operated by both Bank of Ghana and then the Ministry of Finance and then Ghana Stock Exchange. So all the securities that like Government of Ghana securities and tradable securities are registered over there. So it's just an account that shows all financial holdings as far as Government of Ghana or listed company investments are concerned. But if you have a fixed deposit with a bank, you can't get that on your CSD. So it's just a Central Security Depository account. So once you buy a treasury bill, you should have a CSD account number. Yes.
Thank you.
So that's.
I'm quite conscious of time, and I try to make sure that we don't do, excuse me to say, Black people's time. So I wanted to check, is there any other questions that you want Sophia to answer? Because she's a very hard to get woman. I don't know when I'll get hold of her again. So if you have any questions, please feel free. Let's ask her and get as much as we can from her whilst we have her here.
Okay, so I also want to, whilst we wait for the questions, since we have a lot of entrepreneurs on our page and all that, I noticed that a lot of businesses fail because of the choice of finance. So if you want to invest in a business or something, you have the option of investing your own money in there, which is equity. It can come from yourself, family members, and a group of people and all that. So they are going to have, like, if you have equity, it's more or less like it's ownership kind of thing. And then you can go in for debt. Mostly, you notice that people go in for short-term debt for long-term projects. If you are investing in real estate, for instance, it takes a while for you to actually break even, because you now have to go and get the land, registration, working. Even after completion of the project, it takes a while for people to buy. What's happening in the market, occupant, and then even the ones that have been built for rentals, occupancy rate is very low and all that. So when it comes to projects like that, it's very important that you go in for equity and some amount of debt. Even the debt, it shouldn't be like a bank loan. A bank loan is too much of a short-term loan for a long-term project. So you can consider going in for let's say a corporate bond. So all you need to do to be able to have that is that, and mostly is done, it's called a private placement or something. So you come to an investment banking firm, the advisory side, then you list the project that you want to do, and what the funding you need, what you want to use it for, and when you expect to start making money and all that. So they put all those things together. Then you get some funds that's maybe 5 years or something. So it gives you, all you'll be doing will be servicing the interest components of it. And maybe every quarter you pay some interest component, and then the principal actually is there. There are lots of terms that you can decide that, okay, I'll be paying 20% principal annually. Anything that you do, whatever will be comfortable. You look at your business model, look at your inflows, and see when it will be okay for you to start paying, and when you have a lot of time to run the business and then make enough money to pay. But if you are doing a long-term business and you're going for a short-term loan, then you'll be having a lot of problems. You will realize that from time to time, you always have to go in for overdraft, for working capital, because you have to pay your staff and all those things. All those things come at a cost. It gives stress to you, the entrepreneur, and all that. There are lots of private funding ongoing. It's just a matter of you identifying any of the licensed firms, talking to them that, okay, I have this project, these are my projected cash flows, this is I need maybe, and mostly the funds we raise for people are in dollars. Some people are also not comfortable with dollars, because if they are investing in Ghana and the cedi is depreciating, at the end of the day, they may have to pay so much at the end of it. So some people also prefer cedi. So as the entrepreneur, you have the discretion. They will advise you whether to go in for dollar or to go in for cedi based on our projection of exchange rate movements and all that. So those options are also available. You don't necessarily have to go in for a bank loan or anything. You can do the private bond, structured finance. It's called a structured finance. You can do 3 years, 4 years, and all that. All that is important is that you should be able to provide information on your project that we'll share with. We have a lot of high net worth individuals that are investing in projects and all that. So once the investment banking firm sees that there are prospects and they do their due diligence and they realize that the project is feasible and all that, they can pull together 3 or 4 of these high net worth people. They wouldn't see your face, you the entrepreneur. They are interfacing between. So maybe it will be, maybe if it's lintel realty paper, 3 years. We do it for even schools like the international schools. Most of them, their infrastructures are built with this kind of structured arrangement. The universities and all that, most of them also have some of their hostels. Even hostels, we fund hostels. Some are hospital funded and all are funded with the same kind of arrangement. So you don't necessarily have to go in for a loan. There are other options that we can discuss further when someone is interested. So that is also something I want to.
Well, in terms of with this type of corporate bonds, right?
Yeah, it's a corporate bond, but the thing is, we don't really share this kind of information with SEC. because it's the investment banking firm that will look at your business projections, do their own due diligence and everything, and come up with it. It's called a private placement kind of thing. So it is the due. So the investment banking firm, if you are looking for 10 million cedis or $10 million, they are going to arrange and get you all that money, and then they'll charge a fee, maybe 10% of funds raised. So if you are looking for 10 million, they are able to raise only 8 million for it for you. Then they are going to charge you advisory fee of maybe 10% of that amount.
Right.
So some of them too, when they see that the project is very viable, they end up even investing in it themselves and then retailing it to other people who are also interested. So there are lots of funds available waiting for very good projects for funding. As far as you can prove that your project is feasible, it's self-financing, and then the individuals behind the company are credible, they have the necessary expertise to execute the project, there's corporate governance and everything. So you're good to go and raise enough funds for your project.
So if for instance, if I have a plan to build maybe a school, like an international school, as you said, and I obviously I live in the UK, I can actually approach some of these investment banks and show them a plan, and they would be happy, so long as obviously viable and they can make money, then they will be.
Yes, I'll share a few with you after this. I'll share a few of them with you to guide you and also to help other entrepreneurs that are interested in this kind of funding, structured finance arrangements.
Okay.
So yes, you can.
Brilliant. There's another question that for me, that's my own personal question. I think many a times when it comes to investing in Ghana, the older folks will tell you that money that you have to go and invest, go and buy a land, because land will appreciate. What are your thoughts on if let's say I have £10,000 and I can buy a piece of land in Apollonia City, and I know that you probably appreciate against obviously in the financial market. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, yeah. When it comes to investing, there are land and real estate and all they are all alternative investments.
Okay.
It's always good to have a mixture of that. Have a bit of financial investment and a bit of land as well. You know that sometimes when you are hard pressed and you need someone to buy your land, it will take a while for people to actually gather the funding to pay. So if you have some money, you can put some in financial investment and some in real estate. When it comes to real estate, you know that in Ghana there are lots of issues. So you should be very sure the company you are investing in is actually the title to the land and everything. So I'm sure first of all they'll give you a site plan. You go to Lands Commission to check and see whether the people who have they have the title after all those things. So you just have to be very careful. Looking at the way land issues are very tricky in Ghana, it's good to have it, and the location is also very important. But the thing about land is sometimes there's a location that will sell very cheaply, but with some small developments by a period of time, you realize that it becomes very expensive. Looking at Ghana, for instance, because people are saying there will be some airports built around Central University and all that, now you can get a 70 by 100 around that place for 15,000 Ghana cedis and all that. But once they start constructing the airport, you realize that they start pricing it like the airports we have in Accra in dollars and all that. So it's just a matter of you trying to listen to government projects around some areas. Once there's a project around the area, the value of the land goes. So it should be done strategically. You should make sure you are buying from the right source and make sure that you have it registered immediately in your name and all that. And then maybe securing it, having someone to wall it for you. And the incidence of people asking family members to invest, build something for them, and at the end they don't get done. That thing is a thing of the past, because there are lots of real estate companies that you can engage if you have already acquired the property to do secure the land for you in any other way you'll be interested in. You can consider buying some plots of land and then maybe having it secured by maybe having it walled It can be used as an event center if you do proper landscaping. They can consider doing an also. And so when you return to Ghana, you know that right now Ghana, everybody is becoming busy and people are not having time for their aged and all that. So you can get a lot of plots of land and think about what you want to do with it, especially when you return and all that. So a lot of due diligence needs to be done as far as real estate investment is concerned. It's a very good investment. You can make triple what you get than even a financial investment, but a good blend of both is always a good thing.
Okay, you mentioned that it's good to look at government projects to see where they are and then strategically buy lands there. Where would one find that kind of information? Where the government, would it be somewhere like would it be on the GIPC website?
Mostly when government of Ghana reads the budgets, the budget statement provides a lot of information. So once you identify some projects, all you need is to connect with people around that area to see whether actually they'll be starting the project immediately and whether some measures have been put in place for the projects to be done. Once you establish that, then you can quickly start buying some lands around the area, because some of these projects actually project the area, and they also adds value to it. So the budget statement is one of the places you can get a lot of information on, and yeah, budget statements and all that. So that will help. So you can look at every budget statement has a breakdown: sanitation, roads, hospitals, this. So once you just figure it out, then you can know where the proposed projects will be happening and go further to ask people around the area whether they think the project is actually going to come on. And if yes, then you can start making plans and all that. And apart from government projects too, also there are private companies that are doing so much in different areas. So by virtue of the company doing something around that area, opens up the area, and then you can also cash in by getting land around the place and then using it for something, because that monumental project becomes a landmark. So you having something close to that project also gives you some form of value.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? If you do, I think we're gonna wrap up in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, we're just gonna, I'm quite conscious of time, but in 5 minutes, we have just about 5 minutes left. Any other questions that you'd like to ask?
Okay. Okay. I also want to add that there's a market called the Ghana alternative market. The Ghana alternative market is called the GAX. It's also part of the Ghana Stock Exchange. They also are able to take up companies that are very small, and do not actually qualify to get listed on the stock market, but have prospects for growth. And then they also get listed with very little requirements. So that one too, I think you can find information on the GAX in my book. Okay. That's right, a guide to financial in Ghana. It's actually around 199. There's lots of it, or if you just Google Ghana alternative market, for intravenous infusions is actually also listed on that market, and other very good local brands. So with people in the diaspora looking at coming to Ghana, if you have a very good case, you can just stock exchange, and then they'll have you list the gas. They provide equity finance to your business, so you don't have to be paying coupons and all that. So that one, you can find information on how you can get listed on the GAX too in my book. And also when you Google alternative market, it's called GAX, GAX. You have a lot of information on that. Yeah.
There's a couple of questions here. One says, resources does not exist in the current context. It says, are there restrictions on equity buying by a foreign company or person?
I'm not really sure about that. we have a lot of foreign investors and all that. Unless maybe if the volume you are buying is a controlling stake, that's when SEC will be interested in that. But I'll try and get an answer on the restrictions and then share it with Kwame to share with the person who asked. So Kwame, please have to remind me on the things, the deliverables, so that I'll be able to.
That's right. And then I think the last question that I have here says, do you know of some investors who have good appetite for investing or providing pre-financing for projects across different sectors of the economy?
Yes. Please ask the question again.
He says, do you know of some investors? So I think that what the person is trying to find out is that are there investors who are out there, so people who want to invest in or providing pre-finance for projects across different sectors of the economy. So as an example,
yes,
if you have a project of maybe farming, are there people that are ready to invest in farming?
Yeah, that's the structured finance I'm talking about. So all you need is to just provide editor write-up your project to prove there's actually a market or whatever it is you are going to do. Once they test viability and it's okay, the companies, the investment banking firms will connect you to high net worth individuals. They won't even interface with you, the entrepreneur. They are buying the paper from us, and then we'll provide the funding for you to execute your project. So all you need is you actually having your thoughts properly down on paper, your financial projections. Make sure that your assumptions are very reasonable and can be verified, and then you are good to go. Yes, there are.
Thank you so much. Look, Sophia, I could talk to you almost the whole night, but I'm conscious of time. Thank you very much, everyone. We're going to wrap up here, but before we go, so as I said, I met Sophia, but when I bought her book, it's on Amazon. It's called Start Right, A Guide to Financial Investments in Ghana. It's a solid book, I must say. It's very, very solid. And as you can tell, Sophia has a lot to say. And so please, do go on to Amazon. I think it's about, I'm not sure, $7.99, $9.99. I mean, for the kind of information that's in this book, I'm telling you, it's more than worth it. Okay, if you're on the platform, Sophia is also on the platform as well. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to her directly. Yes, $7.56. Thank you, Andrea. £7.56. I mean, that's less than half a chicken of Nando's, you know. And for if you are trying to really do something in Ghana and relocate to Ghana, and I think in all things that we want to do in Ghana, it starts with finances. And so this is the best place that we can start. But thank you so much, everyone, for coming on this call. Our next session, again, as I said, is on the 6th of June. We have 2 people that will come and share their experience of moving from abroad, particularly the UK to Ghana. 2 people. One person actually works with an organization, and then the second person started their own business. So on the 6th of June, we'll have the next session. I'll send the information around, and then you can join. Sorry, there's a couple of questions here. How do I get added to the WhatsApp? Okay, I can send you my number and then you can join. Apart from that, thank you so much, everyone. Let me not keep you for longer than necessary, and we will catch up. Thank you, everyone. It's also recorded, so I'll share the recording as soon as it's ready on the platform.
Thank you, Kwame, and thank you everyone for joining. And apologies for my internet hitches. I'm sure our next
that's an example of how things will be in Ghana. So prepare.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.